Hello and welcome to another episode of Don't Hate the Player, Hate the Recipe, where I make a recipe to the letter as it is in the recipe, and then if it's bad, it's not my fault, it's the recipe's fault. Even though the last video I made in this series, which is the only other video in the series, I deviated quite a lot from the recipe. But this time, this time it's going to be different. Today, we're going to be making this asparagus, pomegranate and pine nut tarts, which is in the date night section of this book, which I have a lot of the roasting tin books over there. This is The Quick Roasting Tin by Rukmini Iyer. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her surname, but I love her books. She's great. We've got to get some puff pastry. We've got to get some green pesto, pomegranate seeds. Don't know if I'll find them down at the supermarket downstairs. And then lemon dressed spinach salad. What? I got to make a separate salad? Oh, you're already getting negative points, mate. For those who watched the last video, which is like 200 people, there's not a lot of views on that one. But anyway, we're doing it again. You may remember that I score each recipe on a number of factors, like the faff of making it and cleaning up, the taste, obviously did it taste nice, and also the kind of newness side of it, like did I use a new ingredient I hadn't used before? So I'll be rating this recipe on all those same factors as well. The fact that I have to make a separate recipe to make this recipe, no, not getting that 10 out of 10. Okay, so these are the ingredients. Ignore that stuff, that's leftovers from a party that I had. Have you tried rugelach? If you haven't, get that in your life, you need it. Anyway, I'm sorry I doubted you Tesco's because you did have pomegranate seeds, so that's there. Fun fact, did you know that the Co part of the name Tesco, the supermarket, is short for Cohen, which is also my surname. I'm also going to Google this to make sure that that is true. Yes. Facts, real facts. Boom! Big up myself. Asparagus, that's gonna make my wee smell like asparagus almost immediately after eating it. Bit of pesto, bit of lemon, bit of spinach. I don't really know where the flavor is gonna come from in this because that's it. I'm not feeling like this is gonna be a high score. I needed a little crisp break before I start properly because you can't be cooking on an empty stomach. And I thought I'd have some of these Pringles limited edition Santa's secret flavor, which me and my girlfriend Googled, and turns out the secret flavor is like truffle and like garlic and onion. But they're very nice. I think Pringles, you should make these permanently. Cut 2 rectangles of puff pastry to the right length and width to hold your asparagus spears with a 1.5 centimeter border on each side as opposite. Right, now I know I said we were gonna do this recipe to the letter, but we don't like wastage. So what I've done is I've just cut the roll in half, okay? And we're gonna use the whole thing, and I'm just going to spread the stuff in the middle of it. So, okay, we've gone a little bit off pieced. 1.5 centimeter border. So we need that all the way around. So I'll just, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much there. What a waste of pastry that would have been. And look, see, tape measure. We do things to the letter. I personally feel quite validated because look how nicely they fit on there. And again, following the recipe, it says brush the spears with olive oil. So look, we've got that. We've got a brush. I'm not just going to chuck it on like some mug. I'm going to give it a little dab, 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 dab. We just caress the spears. All right, that's the salt and the pine nuts on. I did only realise after I put them on that it said chopped pine nuts, but they're little, innit? So I'm sure it'll be fine. That's in the oven now at 180 for 25 minutes. And then when it comes out, all we have to do is scatter over the pomegranate seeds, squeeze over the lemon juice and serve alongside this entirely separate spinach that I have to go make. Felt like I needed another crisp break, so this time it's Christmas tree shaped gluten-free tortilla chips because we inclusive up in here. It turns out that the salad was just some spinach with oil, lemon juice and salt. So, okay. I mean, it just looked sad. So I added some olives and feta that I had left over from the party. If I'm making a salad, it's got to taste of something. I'm also putting some pistachillos in there. Am I crazy? And I'd like to say in my defense that none of this counts as not sticking to the recipe because that is a side recipe, the salad. So I can go as nuts as I want with that. And that is it, done. Pastry's risen, the pomegranate seeds are on it. Does it look like the picture? More or less. Now just to try it once it's cooled down a little bit. I think I see maybe why they said to do it smaller. This size doesn't really sort of fit on a plate. Got a mouthful, that's got some pastry in it, that's got the pesto, that's got all the bits. As expected, doesn't really have a lot going on. There's not a lot of flavour in this. So yeah, it looks nice, minimal faff, but the taste has got to be there. So I think that's like a 4 out of 10. I don't think I'm gonna make this again. Additional downsides, you get pastry everywhere. And when you try and eat one bit of asparagus, the whole spear comes off. So I'm sticking with my 4 out of 10. However, the side salad I made is absolutely banging. I might make recipes of my own, but yeah, this is a 4 out of 10. Rukmini, I expected better from you. The other recipes have been good. Join me next time for more Don't Hate the Player, Hate the Recipe, where where I'll be making more disappointing food that mostly sticks to the recipe but doesn't entirely. Okay, bye. Okay, actually, it's going to get 5 out of 10 because the more I've gone into the middle bit, the nicer it's gotten. And pastry has lots of butter in it, so that's good. Okay, 5. That's my final offer. Get 5 out of 10. Bye.